I'm doing something I told you I wouldn't do, which is have the crappy room sound and actually point the camera at an amp and say, hey, this is what it sounds like. Well, obviously you cannot tell what this amp sounds like in a realistic situation, which means with microphones in front of it, when you are sitting there right in front of it, through the microphones on a camera. Even though this camera is very good, okay? But this is not your room. You know, this is my studio treated with acoustic shit and stuff like this. And the reason why I'm doing this is A, I'm lazy. And B, I've recorded with this amp now for weeks, and I have a lot of good recordings. Recordings that can probably show off a lot better what it can do compared to what I could, you know, do in a quick video. More quick, you know my videos. And what the flying farcola is wrong with this guitar? It's got holes in it. Yeah, I'm not a hollow body kind of guy. Really not. You've never seen me use one. Why do I have this? Funny enough, I found it in the next room. Seriously, we painted the room red and thought it's a good idea to put my red PV bass on the wall and this red guitar, and it really disappears on the wall. So for 2 years I kind of never saw it. And I've already played it, now I don't really know what to do with hollow body guitars, but I found out in the last couple of weeks. So what you're gonna hear is the Joyo Sweet Baby 5 watt. We're gonna call it boutique because it is a boutique amp. It's hand wired, shitty good tubes in it, Ruby something, I don't know. It's got an, is it Eminence? I don't want to lie, wait. Yes, it's got an Eminence in it. It's pretty much a Fender Champ, if you ask me. Then again, I don't know what a Fender Champ is. It's a little crappy amp, probably. It used to be used for practice purposes for kids, and then became really big and became this hip thing to use for probably jazz and blues. And it is an amazing jazz and blues amp. It really is. Now by itself, you've heard it right now. Very tinny, very nasally. But it's got external speaker out. Kind of tough to get to from the back. But with an extra speaker on it, holy flying crap. Of course, for solo purposes, the 8-inch speaker will probably be enough for you. So let me give you a quick tour of the amp. I have prepared a little camera. So what we're going to do, of course, we're going to have pedals in front of it. And all the recordings I made used those pedals and nothing more. So let me show you the pedals. First in the chain is the more yellow comp. If you ask me, one of the best compressors you can find. Dr. J Green Crystal for overdrive, and the more Rico for some tape delay. So the amp itself, not a lot going on there. Hello. You turn it on with this, I'm going to call it on switch, and you crank it up with this, I'm going to call it the crank switch. And this, I guess, is where the guitar goes. This is like as simple as it gets. Okay, in the back, it's half open. Oh, the guitar is falling. Oh, so it is half open. And there you can see the Eminence. There's the troops glowing. And I don't know if I can actually get to this. Up there somewhere you can plug in, no, you can plug in the speaker. It's a little bit hard to get to, but you can do it. Actually very nice. For the power cable, there's a little Velcro thing there. You can actually tie it up. This is pretty much what it is. This is the whole amp. And on some of the recordings, and I'm going to point out which ones, I used this Blackstar 212. Okay. And I mic'd it with an extremely inexpensive combination of microphones. Shure SM57, and here's a tip if you live in Europe. get the T-Bone, I think it's called the MB75. It's an SM57. It's probably made in China, but it's extremely good and pretty much the same thing for $31.90. So go to Thomann, get yourself an MB75 and you're good. I got one in one of the ISO boxes. And this one is a ribbon mic. It's called the RM700, also from T-Bone. Comes in a sturdy case in which is again a wooden case that this thing rests in. Comes with the shock mount. I think it's €89. So those two together are the sounds that you're gonna hear. You know, had them kind of here. That's it. And same thing on the big speaker. So I don't know how much you can hear. I'm just gonna. By itself, it's pretty much it's a little bit dull. It kind of feels as if there's a pillow on top of it, which is probably what you want for most of your jazz sounds. Now that's why I use the more yellow comb, because that gives you spank. I like spank. Woo! God, I'm lame. And it also gives you some high end because it's got a built-in EQ knob. So that's already very nice. Trust me, don't know how much you can hear here, but that's pretty damn cool. But enough of me noodling in a setting that doesn't tell you anything. This setup, just like this, miking the 1/8" speaker, can sound like this. Okay, and now for some something that really blew my mind when I heard back and then listened back and played it and just like couldn't stop playing because it was so much fun. The Joyo 5-watt Sweet Baby Amp with these 3 pedals going into a bigger speaker. It doesn't have to be a 212, it could be a decent 112 cab. Mic with 2 very inexpensive mics. Going of course into Universal Audio 710D preamp. La 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 la, you've heard it all. Yeah, with a 400 euro guitar. This puppy is not expensive. This is a very cheap estimate of what a hollow body guitar should be. And Ibanez is doing a killer job because just listen to the results. There you go. I'm doing Papa Stash. You know Papa Stash. Killer guitar channel guy. But he's always like, oh, yeah, when you got it, yeah, He's very animated. I mean, hey, he loves what he does and he shows it. Sorry, Papa Stash. Some poking fun necessary. Yeah, Sweet Baby Amp. Frankly, I don't know where you can get it. Joyo is kind of hiding these. There's definitely stores in the world that have them, probably online outlets. Grab one while you can if you're playing the blues. Because for me, I don't know too much about blues. I've worked on these tracks really hard to get that sound because I'm not a blues guy. But if you are, this should come easy to you. And this puppy will help you get that sound. Cheers. Where's my coffee? Where's my coffee?